Hi guys, back with another video. So in this video we're going to talk about some of the cameras I use to capture some of the hunting action. Now I did a video like this a couple years ago with cameras I used then. We're going to talk about some of the cameras I use now. I use quite a few of them, so I'm going to go over each of them, talk a little bit about how I use them, maybe some of the pros and cons of each camera. So for right now we'll introduce the cameras. Probably one of the cameras I think everybody likes are the ShotKams. I have two of them, one on the 20 gauge here, one on the 12 gauge. Now these are the Gen 3 models. They only film in 1080. They now make a Gen 4, actually two models of it. One's with a longer battery life, and one's a little bit smaller. But these things are great for capturing wing shooting, whether it's pheasants, doves, geese, ducks, anything that's on the wing, these are great for that. And you got to excuse, I got a little kitten here. He's running around. He's very playful. He's probably going to interrupt this video a few times. But the ShotKams are pretty good. I use them a lot. I think guys really like the footage you get with them. Other cameras I use, probably more than any of them, are the GoPros. I got two of the GoPro Hero 11s. I got a Hero 8 with an external battery and a Hero 7 with an external battery. Also use Tacticam. Now these are Solo Extreme. The Solo, the battery no longer charges, and it's starting to get like a gummy feel, something about the rubber breaking down on the outside of it, but I don't use it anyway. But I do use the Solo Extreme, mainly for turkey hunting. It only films in 1080. They have some other models of Tacticam. I think they have a 5 and 6. I believe you could zoom them in. They have a digital zoom, not an actual optical zoom, so it will distort the picture a little bit. But Tacticam no longer makes action cameras, they just make the trail cameras. Now I use these mainly in my squirrel hunting videos. These are the Sony HandyCam CX240 model. They have several models, but these are a nice lightweight camera. They film in 1080, but the video quality is not that great for 1080. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of grainy, but it does get you the video that you want to get. And last but not least is the RunCam ShotKam 2 4K. This will film in 4K, and until recently I was not aware that you can actually focus this thing. Now with the ShotKam, the GoPros, the Tacticam, you basically just, that's how they are, it's just a fixed lens. But I found out you could focus this, but I haven't had a chance to film with it to get anything that's actually focused. I used it on a couple squirrel hunting videos, but it wasn't, I was kind of disappointed with the quality of the video until I found out that it was out of focus. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of each of these cameras. We'll start with the ShotKam again. ShotKam, this films in 1080, the newer versions, they film in 4K. With these cameras, they do not capture great audio. It's just, you can hear the shot, but you can't really hear like ducks quacking or turkey gobbling or anything. You just can't hear it. And the other thing is, it's going to be distorted anyway because it will show you the video in slow motion. So it's not going to be, the same quality as if it was just a regular camera filming audio. But these things are great because all you have to do, there's an awake feature where you just slap it on a little bit, it wakes the camera up, and you can take a shot and it'll record it. Now, it won't save the recording unless you shoot. Like if you pull up on something, and you follow it a little bit and you don't shoot, it's not going to save the video. It only saves video if you actually shoot the gun. The recoil is what makes it save the video. Pretty good cameras. I like them. Not crazy about the battery life in cold weather. I have a cover that I could put on them and put a hand warmer inside it. But even then, the battery life is not that great on these. I believe the battery life is supposed to be like 5 or 6 hours, but on a cold day, you'd be lucky to get an hour, hour and a half out of it. Alright, let's talk about the GoPros. Now these things, a lot of people don't like them. They do have a lot of glitches. A couple of these cameras, you'll push the button to record, it won't do anything. You got to open the compartment, pull the battery out, put the battery back in to make them record. On one of these, I think it's, I have a number on them. One of them's been acting up lately, of these Hero 11s. But I like the cameras because I film in 4K. Recently I started filming in 4K. You could get some nice crisp footage. You know, it's always in focus. The only thing is, if anything's at distance that you're trying to film, everything just looks really far away. Now, when you're editing the video, you can zoom and crop, you know, bring the picture in a little bit, and you can see a little bit of stuff that way. And there's been a couple of times where that ability has actually saved the video because I didn't actually have video footage unless I cropped and zoomed to get some of that footage. My little buddy here. This is Samson. He's a little kitten I picked up. Second day of dove season. I brought him home with me. He was actually a barn cat. He's turned out to be a pretty good boy, except he gets into everything. Recently he's found some ducks on the wall. I had to move that duck up higher because he liked to play with it. But anyways, he's going to be interrupting us here. So back to the cameras. Now these are the Tacticam. This is the solo cam. Only films in 1080. The newer models film in 4K. They have a digital zoom where you can actually zoom them in. This has no zoom. You can zoom it in a little bit when you edit, but it's too grainy. It doesn't look good. Now, the zoom that it does have is a bit better than the GoPro, but it's not all that good. If you're going to shoot something, it better be about 20-25 yards, because if it's much farther, it's going to look farther away. Tacticams are good because you could capture some audio with them. I mean, when you listen to it, the volume is really low, so when you edit the video, you can actually adjust the volume just a little bit higher, where you can actually hear. But it does capture audio compared to the ShotKam, which it just distorted audio, and it doesn't capture audio very good to begin with. But I use the Tacticam mainly for turkey hunting. Now with the Tacticam, it's pretty simple. You just push the button, you'll feel the camera vibrate a couple times, and it'll start flashing, and then you know that it's filming. And then you hold it down, and it turns the camera off. Now for the Sony HandyCams. I really don't use these much now that I got the scope cam, but if you happen to have one of these, I made a homemade mount that you could put it onto a scope, and these are pretty good. I use them for squirrel hunting. Gotta shoot one left-handed. Now the RunCam, like I said, I wasn't aware that you could focus this thing. You basically unscrew the housing here for the lens. There's a little lock nut on there that you loosen. You can adjust the lens and get the picture a bit crisper than what it was. So I'm anxious to get some better squirrel hunting videos with this thing. I know when I made those videos, I looked at the quality and I thought, man, it's a lot more convenient than the HandyCam. But just the quality wasn't there, I thought, for 4K. But now that I realize it could be focused, I hope to have better videos with it. Now, if you've watched my videos in the past, you've seen all these cameras used multiple times. I think they go a long way in making the videos better. I know some guys just use a bigger camera like I'm filming on here, to zoom in. But these action type cameras, they really go a long way in making videos better. I do like the GoPros mainly because you can mount them on different kind of mounts, or put it on a headband. I could get some hunting action that way. The only problem with these cameras is that everything looks farther away than it actually is. But if you film in 4K, you can actually crop it just a little bit and bring in the video just a little bit where you could see better. Now with these cameras with the external batteries, these are great when I'm dove hunting or waterfowl hunting. I'll usually put it on a tripod and just run the camera the whole time. The only thing is, it will run out of card space before it runs out of battery. And usually I got to sift through 3 or 4 hours of video to pick out a couple of clips that I want to use when I'm editing. So that does make it, a little time consuming to make a video, but at least you will capture some of the stuff on a GoPro. These Sony HandyCams, they're kind of, right now, I really don't use them since I got the RunCam, but for a long time, these were the go-to when it comes to my squirrel hunting videos. These were the cameras I used. They're a little cumbersome to get everything turned on and ready to film the shot, but they did produce a lot of videos for me. Now the ShotKams, they're just convenient because they're always on the gun. Basically you turn it on, and when a shot's about to happen, you got to bump the gun. Now what I did find was, when you need to turn the camera on, it's better to slap the gun with an open hand. I don't know what that does, if the camera feels that better, like more vibration, but it seems to turn the camera on better than if you try to hit it with your fist. Open hand on the back of the stock, once or twice, and it's ready to go. You gonna shoot? Those are the cameras I use to bring you guys the action when I make my videos. I use them all for different things, different seasons. I probably use the GoPros the most. Most of my footage where I'm talking to you or showing landscape or anything, a lot of that is with a GoPro. They do come in handy. Now I know DJI and there's some other companies that make action cameras. I hear they're a little bit better than the GoPro as far as battery life and stuff. My buddy's back. But, get down here. He just wants to tell everybody goodbye. But anyways, I do like these type of action cameras. They do a lot to help bring videos to life, to bring them to you. But these other gun type cameras, you're definitely going to want one of them depending on what you want to hunt. I really like the ShotKams. I think they do a lot for any kind of bird hunting video to see the shot and so your viewers can see what's going on. I think they work good for that. Now the Tacticam, being that the company no longer makes action cameras, I don't know if I would be buying one of them. I do see them on eBay and places that are used, or even some of them that are still new, but I honestly don't know if I would get a Tacticam. The RunCam would be good if you're hunting with a 22 or pellet rifle for squirrels. These would be good. I don't know if I'd put them on something with heavy recoil. But anyways, that's a look at my cameras I've been using to bring you guys the action. That'll be it for the video. I'll see you on the next one.